Hi, you're watching Women's Village TV. I'm Carol Omer and welcome to Conversations with Women who are making a difference. I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Glyn Scott. She's an author, philanthropist and a domestic violence campaigner and founder of the Love, Hope and Gratitude Foundation. Glyn's memoir, Hope Was All I Had, chronicles her journey through domestic violence and her victory in becoming an agent for change. In 2012, Glyn's story was at the centre of a hearing of the full bench of the High Court with a ruling that established rape in marriage as a criminal offence in 1963. The ruling is important because it resulted in Glyn's first husband being charged after subjecting her to years of abuse.
Hi Carol, and thank you. It's been great to be here with you today.
Yeah, I'm just so pleased you're able to make it. And just give me a bit of an overview as what creativity means to you.
Creativity, I think, is for me something that has been so much part of my life, all of my life, and I believe it's an integral part of women's lives and how they can project their inner feelings outward and which helps support them in doing great work, but also to give them the opportunity to be themselves.
I know that you are an artist, you're a very highly creative person, and we'll talk a little bit about that some more shortly. But I'm really interested in you telling us about what is the law that you got changed through your commitment to seeing justice.
The law was rape in marriage, which was a 17th century law, which was made as a common law, a Commonwealth common law, handed down by Sir Matthew Hale, and right up until 2012 when it got changed, that was still a law which was governed all Commonwealth countries.
There was 4 years from the gap from when the law was changed till it became a public story. So I'm just interested in that 4-year gap. What was that a choice of yours not to go public, or was there some legal ramifications around you speaking about it?
I had started writing a book and I wanted my book to be ready so that when I went public I had a book that people could read my story and I hoped that my story would make a difference in the lives of others.
Could you talk a little bit about the journey from the day you decided that you were going to challenge this law to the law was changed?
Well, it took 6 years in all to get from the beginning of when I made the decision, and so it had to go through all of the court systems, through the Magistrates Court, the District Court, the Court of Criminal Appeal in the Supreme Court, and then finally the High Court of Australia. The 7 judges from the High Court of Australia came to Adelaide and heard my case, and I sat in the courtroom, in fact, in awe of the proceedings, of how it was done, something that I'd never imagined that I would ever see or be part of. And each judge had their own minder, the person that stood behind them to pull their chair out, etc. And it was an amazing experience, but it was also a scary experience.
Yeah, as you're describing it, the word austere comes to mind, a very formal, very steeped in tradition, and not a lot of sort of laughter and joking going on.
No, certainly none of that.
Yeah.
And the courtroom itself was absolutely packed capacity. Every seat was taken, people standing in the aisles, in fact in the doorway out into the corridor, the courtroom, you couldn't get another person in there.
And because of your decision for anonymity, people didn't know in the court that as you were there in this crowded courtroom that you were the one who had initiated this and who had had fought this warrior woman's battle for all of these years.
I had a court supporter from Victim Support Service who had organised to be there with me on the day. I just was so quite tense, really, in wondering what was going to happen. I had no idea what to expect. And then, of course, once the whole courtroom was packed and then the judges came out one by one with the person that walked out with them, the chairs were pulled out and they were all in their full dress, of course. And then all the thick law books all on a table. There was 2 rows of tables with lawyers and QCs and the Crown solicitor who was representing me. Yes, it was just formidable is actually a word that comes to mind, something that I guess not a lot of people see. All I was concerned about was justice needed to be done.
Yeah.
And the people that had perpetrated on me and my children needed to be made accountable.
Yes. And the story is in your memoir.
Yes.
And we'll talk about your book in a moment. But also people can still read online. Thanks very much, Carol Omer, for writing that. And I know she's been a great champion of your story.
And in fact, she actually contacted DPP for them to, because they wouldn't give her my name, of course, for me to contact her. And she persisted. And it was her persistence that finally got the story out there.
Fabulous. We all need our allies on our big journeys, don't we?
We certainly do, yeah.
So, Glyn, I'd like to talk now about your foundation.
The reason I created the foundation was in honour of my children, in particular the deaths of my 2 eldest sons, but also because of the trauma that my daughter went through as well. So it's really for the 3 of them. But I guess I need to include my 2 youngest sons as well, who, while they didn't go through any trauma like anything like that, they grew up with me as a mum, having been traumatised. So really it's for my children.
You might like to talk a little bit about the butterfly walk last year, which is an initiative of your foundation.
Yes. Well, the foundation, firstly, the name of the foundation came because without love, I think that we don't have a life. Without hope, there is nothing to look forward to tomorrow. And gratitude for me is about being grateful for what you do have and not looking at what you don't have, because it's within our own grasp to be able to appreciate what we do have. And for me, even though many people only have little, it's about being grateful for what it is that we do have. And there is many things to be grateful for. And so that's where the name came. I guess the butterfly walk, for me, butterflies are very significant because for me it implies freedom and hope. Because when you look at a butterfly, the chrysalis and the butterfly emerging, it's about the hope of what's to come.
Transformation.
Exactly. And so it's a symbol that I carry very dear to my heart. And so the butterfly walk is about people walking for freedom for women and children and their pets who are being traumatised and maimed and killed through domestic violence and child abuse. And so for that reason, I wanted it to have the symbol of the butterfly of freedom so that people can hold a butterfly and walk on the walk and enjoy a fun day, but also to be able to, at the end of the walk, to be able to write a message on a butterfly and put it on our wall, to remember somebody they loved or somebody that may be affected, or a child or whoever is dear to them that may have been affected.
I'm especially touched when you mention pets because we know that often the statistics don't include animals,
Yep.
and that pets do suffer in domestic violence. And a fabulous campaign has happened here in Adelaide for temporary housing for
Yes,
pets.
yes.
So as animal lovers, it's we
Absolutely.
acknowledge all of those pets, and also the companion nature of pets. We know that when a woman does leave and she's able to take her pet with her, that it's very comforting. It's something
Absolutely.
that's really very healing, very assuring. And we also know that the reason some women don't leave is because they know if they're going to leave their pets behind, the pet's at risk. So
Absolutely. For women and kids too, if it's a child's pet, the child's already traumatised, having to be uprooted from their home, the fear and the anguish that they go through. But having that pet that can stay with them, that loves them and they love, is so important.
Yes, it is. So really acknowledge your foundation for having that pet focus. I'm very interested in the concept of the women's village, and I view domestic violence shelters as a kind of women's village. I've worked in that area for many years, and I think we know that often the older workers have experience of the sector in a way different to the young new graduate social workers. And do you see a role as the village where that's more community grassroots?
Absolutely. And that is the foundation's ultimate aim, is to build a village where we have a series of homes on a huge amount of land, and the women can be there to support one another, but they live independently and have room for their pets, which can be in the home with them. But if they are used to being outside, we can have a facility for the pets and a playground for the kids to play.
Playground for the kids.
And all sorts of activities. You know, a special room, ultimately for the kids to have, you know, special time and me time, and also interact with each other.
People say, I want to make a difference. I'm concerned, I don't know what to do. And you can say, well, you can come join our foundation. And so I think having a central place where people can contribute, I know people contribute financially, they also contribute things like white goods and opportunities. People contribute their time. So giving people the opportunity to say, look, here is something that you can do. And then we see creativity come in, how that's transformed into action, programs, projects and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And in fact, we're just about to embark on a project that we put in for a grant and were successful.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And we have a venue in Littlehampton, which was given to us by the council, and we will be having creative workshops.
So would it be presumptuous to say it's based on the circle, the women's circle concept?
Absolutely, it is, yes. So that the women can be in a circle, and if they want to sew, they can, but also to be able to share stories, to be able to have a journal, which I'll provide them with, that they can write in their journal if they want to, what they're doing, and any little things that they want to put in it will be theirs to do whatever they wish with. I want it to be a circle of companionship, of sharing, of support, and just being there and being, you know, with lovely atmosphere and, you know, people. I've got a couple of volunteers who are going to help to teach the women. We want to teach them some skills that they can take away for their future, to help them learn to be able to make things for their kids, to do things with their children, and we will have resources for them to have.
Two key words I heard then: skills and resources. That sometimes life skills can come from having a conversation with another woman who may also be experiencing or has experienced DV, but is a few steps ahead on the path. And then the resources to be able to to be able to sit in the circle. And so We really look forward to contributing through the Big Girls on the Move crowdfunding campaign a box of the colouring books
That
to
would be wonderful.
your program. That's
That would be
I
wonderful.
look forward to that.
That will be fantastic. That will be fantastic, and we're looking forward to getting started in the next 2 months.
Yes,
So
wonderful.
I'm hoping that women who are experiencing DV or have experienced would like to come along. It'll be in the Little Hampton Hall.
What would be the advice you'd give to that woman who's just starting to step on that road of self-empowerment and recovery and healing?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is for her to never give up, to always have hope, or to believe in her hope that tomorrow will be a better day, but also to stay strong.
Yes, yeah.
And to realise that as we go through this journey, which we will do together, because everyone that comes to me, I support in any way that I possibly can and in every way that I can. And so once we start on that journey, we stay on that journey with them and to see it through. So I think the important thing is to bring out that inner strength that most women already have, and to build on that strength.
Yeah. Glyn is a phenomenal woman. She supports women experiencing domestic violence through her Love, Hope and Gratitude Foundation, and she is a much sought after public speaker. You can read more about Glyn's story in her memoir, Hope Was All I Had, and find lots more information at the links below. Subscribe to Women's Village TV channel for more stories from inspiring women like Glyn in our conversations with women who are making a difference. I'm Carol Omer. See you again soon.